evening, good evening, good evening. Y'all come on in, come on in. We are in store for a treat this evening, and I don't want you to miss any of it. I don't want you to miss any of it. And as a matter of fact, I don't want your friends and your family to miss it either. So go on and share out the broadcast. Let somebody know that, listen, Pastor Kimberly is on, and we got some good stuff we're talking about tonight as I showcase one of our authors, one of our next level up publishing authors. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite things to do. And so I want to welcome you into the broadcast. I want to welcome you in. Yes, let's see here. Come on in, welcome your friends in, and let's get set up here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Let me turn my little jazzy music down here. Trying to be fancy and play my little music. Kind of get us in the talking mood, right? Welcome. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you for tuning in tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kimberly Jones. I am the visionary for Next Level Up Publishing. We publish authors who are ready to get their stories out of their hearts and into the world. The publishing piece of it is amongst many things that I do. But tonight we have on our publishing hat, our interviewing hat, our coaching hat, all of that, as we interview one of our very special authors who has done an amazing job in writing her book and getting the story out into the world. And it is an amazing story. And so I want to invite you all that are on to share out this broadcast. It's going to be a hodgepodge, a little bit of talking about the book. I'm sure ministry is going to come into play. Like I said, some coaching is going to come into play as we chat it up tonight. I'm going to bring my guest on, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of get in here and share out the broadcast. I'm telling you, one of the things that I believe in this hour that is very important for all of us who are doing anything for the kingdom. It's important for us to get our story out because there is so much power, so much strength in our stories. And sometimes we don't even realize something that we have just made it through, something that we have just gotten through. We just look at it and we kind of, I did that, I made it through, but we don't realize that our story will be the very thing that gets somebody else through a hard a point in their life or a stuck place in their life or somebody who just cannot get over what happened to them. And our guest tonight, let me tell you, if there was a poster of everything that I just described, Chancierra's picture would be on there, okay? Miss Coleman's picture would be on there. So let me go on and bring her in tonight as you guys are coming in. I'm excited about this. And there she is. There she is. Y'all,
good evening.
The beautiful, amazing, resilient. I have so many words. Let me get my notebook here because I have so many words that I wrote down to describe you, Sierra. I just had to get it together because I am just amazed at all of the things that God is doing with and through you in this season. We actually cross paths as a result of some mutual relationships with the Dudleys, Pastor Jasmine, Pastor Kenyon, as well as your pastors, Dr. Sherman and Apostle Sherman.
Yes.
Somehow or another, our paths crossed when we did this whole Write Your Book boot camp. Myself and Pastor Jasmine collaborate on a boot camp to help individuals write their books in 7 days. And so Sierra was in our last class, and here we are. Here we are. So I'm gonna give her an opportunity to introduce herself, and you know what, I'll prompt you. I'll prompt you with talking about yourself. Just tell us in your own words, who is Sierra? Who is Sierra?
Chancierra is first and foremost, I'm a woman of God. So I am a true believer. I am a worshiper. I am a mother of 5. I am recently widowed. I recently lost my husband and my mother August of 2021, but that didn't stop anything. I accomplished becoming an author. In January, I wrote my first book in 6 days. I also am now a certified personal development coach. And next week, I will be a social worker as I'll be graduating with my first degree. So that is Chancierra.
Who does that? Like, who does that? I keep on saying that about her. I had the opportunity to be a part of her book signing, her first book signing that she had on Sunday. And I just began to reflect on that. And I keep on coming up with this same question, like, who does that? With everything that you got going on and everything that you've endured, in a short amount of time, you were able to do so much. So really, seriously, I want you to answer that question. Who does that?
Well, I did it, and I did it with the grace of God, His strength. I'm telling you, supernatural strength, because in my own strength, I probably wouldn't have been able to do all of that either. Just trying to work. You're taking 5 classes, you got 5 kids, they're all in school, trying to manage and maintain a household, being involved in ministry as well. I am on the praise and worship team. I am active in church as well. So just, being able to balance my time. I couldn't have done any of it, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for God. Seriously, that is not just something that I say. I have a special grace and favor with Him, and all I have to do is ask, and He empowers me to do everything, whatever it is that I want to do according to His will. He makes it happen. So yeah.
You said all you got to do is ask.
That's it.
Wow.
Sometimes you want to cry, you want to out, or at least I did. I wanted to cry, I wanted to give up, I wanted to stop. But because I know the greatness that God has in store for me, it was like, you know what? None of that is going to solve anything. Just ask for what you need to keep going. And that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. But in addition, we're going to get to the book, but I'm just talking about the person. I believe that when we offer anything to the world, whether it's a book or a service or, some type of offering with our business or whatever, ministry or whatever, the first thing that people attach to before they attach to our message, our book, or anything, is they really attach to the person. What is it in you? What is it in you? Before we even get into the book, what is it in you that that you have been ordained to give to the world? What's that offering? What's that thing that attracts people to you?
Oh, what attracts people to me, and I hear it often, is the fact that I allow my light to shine. I allow God to shine through me, and I have the ability to encourage. I am a good encourager, a motivator, inspire, and that just draws people. My positive mindset, just being optimistic, always having words of positivity, to give to somebody or to help someone else. Even in my own situations, it may be things that are tough. They do be tough to me, or they may be tough to somebody else, but I am still able to take the good out of that, not to focus on the bad, just that having the ability to be able to just steer people towards positivity, and greatness, and just looking at things in a whole different perspective as to what, they would normally see things as. So I believe that that's what it is.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that too. In the, we kind of cross paths, like I said, knowing both of us knowing the Dudleys, and
Mm-hmm.
having a relationship with them, and a relationship, at the church, and, it's coming. And we passed, we crossed paths. But it wasn't until you got in the boot camp with Pastor Jasmine and I that I really got an opportunity to find out who you really were, and to experience the tenacity, the stick to itiveness. I would also the bulldog tenacity just to get a thing done. I remember before we even got into the boot camp, I can remember Pastor Jasmine talking about you, and just saying all of these amazing things, and about the person that you were, and how, your testimony. And I didn't know anything. I was just like, okay, there were some people that came into the boot camp because of, my relationship with them, and then there were those that came in because, of her relationship, and those people that she pulled in. But she just talked so highly of you, and I was like, okay, all right, so I'm going to get my opportunity to meet this woman. And when we got in there, and I just began to find out more and more and more about you, I saw why Pastor Jasmine was raving over you and so excited about working with you and getting this book done. I want you to do me a favor, Sierra. I want
Mm-hmm.
just really quick. Can you just give us and I'm going to get off the screen just for a minute, for you to give just a snippet. I just want, before we jump in the book, can you give us just a snippet of like your testimony, just a snippet of it? Because we're going to talk about it some more in the book. Okay. Can you hear me? Let's see. I think she might have froze up a little bit. Let's see. I think she froze up. So we're going to give her an opportunity to come back in there. But I'm so excited about this interview today, and about Chancierra, and what God is doing in and through her life, and how she is just one who has really, really risen above adversity, and been very resilient. That was another word that I thought about when I think about her. That word resilient comes to mind as well. I think she may be back in now. Can you hear me, dear?
Yes.
Okay, so did you hear what I asked you to do?
Yes. I was asking which you were talking about, the most recent testimony as
Yes,
far as
like
the loss.
yes. I want you to, if you don't mind. You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So August, yeah, in August 13th, I lost my mother. About 9 days after that, I lost my husband. My mom died to pneumonia, so as complications of COVID, and of course, it was unexpected because she had seemed to be doing well, but things just took a turn for the worse. My husband, I was woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning, um, and I was notified that my husband and my brother-in-law had both been murdered in Atlanta. And so that was, 9 days after my mom's passing. And so closing out the month of August, we had two funerals, my mother, and we did a double funeral for my husband and my brother-in-law. And so I was still, a student. I had just started school my last semester at Georgia State. And I continued to go through school, my classes that semester. And in January of 2022, I started the Write Your Book boot camp. And when I started the Write Your Book boot camp, I had just started a new semester, my very last semester, which I am currently in, working to be a social worker. And so I maintained, my coursework as far as the classes that I was taking there. I enrolled in the Write Your Book boot camp. I completed my book within 6 days. After that, I just kept going. I signed up for the life coaching certification program. I just graduated that in about 2 weeks ago. And so now I am here. I am, I have published my first book and doing book signings, interviews, and about to graduate next week.
About to graduate with your bachelor's degree.
No, this is my associate. So
Your
I'm just getting
degree in social work.
Yes.
Amazing. I wanted to give you the floor for that. I didn't want to be that is so powerful. That is so powerful. And in the midst of all of that, you garnered some power. You garnered some strength to be able to make it through all of that. Where do you get that level of strength from?
Like I said earlier, just God, the word, my faith, and trusting in Him. And I know that everything else is going to leave. Everything is going to pass away. I'm not going to be here with my kids forever. The degrees, the paperwork, the education that I'm working for, none of that at the end of the day, all I have is God. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that He'll never leave. So that, like I said, I just have to ask for it. Like I ask, and I only have to ask one time. I don't have to keep crying and, begging and pleading, just one time, because His word already says that His grace is sufficient. So His grace is enough. It is enough. But when He gives me that extra push, like literally in my back, just like go, and when He says go, when He says do something, and when I know that I have the ability and the talent and the gift, the anointing to do a thing, that makes it even, all the more reason for me to just go hard at doing it, because I know that He's my backup. He's behind me. He's in front of me. He's beside me. And so just that strength and that power that He gives me is what literally keeps me going.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. You said the word. You said push. Yeah. You said push, and that's the title of your book, Push. And you have the scripture here, Exodus 15:2. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has given me victory.
Yes.
And that speaks to everything that you just said.
Yes.
About, everything passing away, everything going away, but the strength of God, the love of God, the presence of God remaining steadfast in your life. I love that.
Yes.
When I think of the book, and as I read the book, it's jaw-dropping, it's riveting, it's unbelievable, it's very creative and very picturesque. And I say that because, and maybe it's just because I'm a visual person, but as I read this book, the way that you wrote it gives the reader an opportunity to literally jump into your life.
Wow.
And go on this journey with you. I felt like I was in the scenes when you were talking about your mother, and in the scenes when you were talking about some of the other the relationships and and the way that you described. You did a really good job, Sierra, in really describing or depicting what you were feeling. You did a really good job of that. And so you take your reader on this journey with you. And I think that, in writing a book is so important that it has that element, because I didn't put it down. It only one sitting. I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. And so it's a very well written book. And so I'm saying all that to say, guys, if you don't know Chancierra, if you have not heard of this book, then I'm going to advise you to go right now to her website and get this book. Order this book. What's your inspired by cc.com?
Yes. Yes.
Inspired by cc.com. I'm going to put it across the screen in a minute, but inspired by cc.com. Get this book. Support this amazing young woman, this amazing young mother. Get it. And it's not only, and not just to support her, but to get your life. Okay. You read this book, you'll get your life. Okay. You will get your life. I promise you. Because what I ended up saying is, you know what? If she made it through that, what can we not do? Now, let me ask you a question, because I read something in here on page 11 of your book, and it taught, that's the first chapter when you're talking about your relationship with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a statement in here. You say, I must have been about 10 years old when I started writing. How did you know? How did you come to the point to know that writing was a good thing? Writing was what seemed to be an outlet for you.
Because I didn't have a voice, so I couldn't verbalize what I felt. And so it must have been God that literally led me to, paper and pen. And it just came natural for me, just writing to express myself. I would, write in diaries, journals. And then as I started to write about how I felt and what I was going through and experiencing, even then I started as young as 10, just being a visionary. So I got my first vision about my life. I guess I'm still waiting on this to come to pass, but it is what I am working towards right now. So my ultimate goal and dream, he downloaded that at a very young age. And I wouldn't say that I forgot about that, but I have gone back to it, and I never left writing. So it was literally just my feelings that led me to writing at an early age, because I couldn't vocalize myself, how I felt without being, reprimanded or whatever.
Yeah. So it was an outlet. It was,
yes,
that was good. You said that you didn't have a voice. You felt like you didn't have a voice, and so God led you to this outlet of writing. And there are those that are watching right now, those that will watch by replay, and I want you to consider that what she said, because many of us have past that are riddled with hurt and pain and disappointment, and many people don't have the fortunate opportunity to have that inspiration to write, or anybody to tell them to write. I've always been a journaler. I have like 1,000,001 journals all over my office, because that's always been an outlet for me as well. So if you're watching and maybe there's something that you've gone through, something that you're going through right now, something that you've been through, consider that outlet. Consider using writing as an outlet to express yourself and to gain or to discover your voice. Because I believe that in this, in writing this, and whatever other writings you'll do, that the magnitude and the volume of your voice and your words are going to amplify with each book that you write. I know that as we're talking about that, and I'm mentioning that to those who are listening, who might be inspiring authors, what would you tell an inspiring author who has experienced the level of pain that you experience, or any pain period? What would you say to an inspiring author?
Write and cry.
Wow.
Write and cry, because as you write and as you cry, you release. And so you're not just releasing the inner feeling, but you're releasing the weight, the people, the cause of the pain. And, like I said, it's a release, the relief that you get in writing. Write and cry. Like, it's been plenty of times where I had to go to the next page because the tears that were falling on the page hit the paper so hard that it, went through the paper or made a big puddle on the paper. Yeah. But I wrote. And as I wrote, each word was freedom. Each word was a step closer to being free. Yeah. Free, with no weight. So just write and cry.
That's good, Sarah. Write and cry. Write and cry. And I believe that those tears, even as you're writing through the tears and pushing through the tears, that there is a cleansing component
Yes.
to that. You know,
Yes.
you expressed it as there's a release. There is a release to that when you allow your tears
Yes.
to be your push, you know, your tears to push you into continuing to write and getting it out. That's beautiful. Let me ask you. Let's see. There's a recurring theme throughout this book that I noticed, and that theme is um, forgiveness.
Yes.
You had, and it wasn't like years and years and years and years and years. It's like you have this ability.
Yes.
There was a commercial a long time ago about some batteries. I think Duracell takes a licking and keeps on ticking. You're way too young to know about that. You're way too young to know about that. But you know that Energizer bunny that keeps on going and going and going and going, and you had the ability, and I know it's from God because you've already
Yes.
admitted, you know, who you are and what you do to your relationship with God. But the things that y'all got to get the book because y'all not even going to understand what I'm saying. Y'all not even going to understand the level of forgiveness. I'm talking about a pain and abuse
Yes.
and rejection
Yes.
and denial and betrayal
Yes.
and oh my goodness, loss after loss after loss, and still being able to say, I forgive you, I love you, I'm gonna hang in there with you. You have that.
Yes. Yes, I do.
How do you feel about that? Like what do you
Whew.
feel about that?
I just accept it. I accept it because for whatever reason, you know, God blessed me. He blessed me with that ability. And so I've always been like that. As soon as something happened, as soon as it happened, I just drop it. Just as soon as it falls on me, I drop it. I don't hold on to anything. I'm not the type to hold on to grudges or to, condemn somebody, remind them about what they did and the pain that that they caused me. I am just able to forgive them without question.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have it any other way. I wouldn't want to hold anybody. I don't want to put anybody in prison. I don't want anybody to be, having to feel like they, wrong me so bad that they can't move forward with life. So it's just, it's freedom for me. It's freedom for them.
And that is so true. Forgiveness does that. It's it's a double-sided lock, I would say. It unlocks both sides.
Yes.
And I, the one of the things that really resonated with me was the relationship that you had with your mother, because I had a tumultuous relationship with my mother. My mother is no longer here either. My mother passed in 2020, and I had by the time my mother transitioned, I mean, it was years before that where we resolved things and we were able to have a relationship. And so I understand that it resonates with me because there are so many people out here who have suffered from wounds from, a relationship with their mother or lack of a relationship with their mother or, abuse. All of those things that you talk about in your book are so important. What would you say to someone out there who has endured those types of mother pains and mother wounds and who are still trying to get through it? They're still trying to make their way through it.
What would I say? There is hope. There is hope. And this is the beauty of life and relationships. As long as you are still living and that person is still living, you are able to make it right. You are able to look past, the flaws, able to look past the pain that they cause. You're able to move forward. Like you're don't dwell on the fact that, it wasn't right when you wanted it to be right, but just move forward and knowing that you still have a chance at making things right, relationally, especially with your parents. Even though, I felt mistreated and sometimes, disrespected, honor thy mother and thy father, honor them. And if you can't honor them, don't even talk to them, because you don't want to create the you don't want to do any more damage than is already there. So I would just say to look at the bright side, and there is hope that things can change and things will get better. Just do your part.
Yeah, there is hope. If you are watching tonight, you're watching by replay, I think those 3 words are so liberating. There is hope. If you are going through something in a relationship, whether it's a mother or father, I think we can apply that to any relationship that we find ourselves in. There's something that you say, that kind of is connected to, and I believe, I'm going to let you talk about it, but I believe that this is an example of how you maintain hope. You said, and on the end of the book, kind of the end, toward the end, you're talking about the last year of your marriage with your husband, and you talk about how your husband had completely changed. And you say in here some of the things that you guys did together, some of the traveling, how respectful he was, how he was taking care of the family and running business and everything.
Yes.
And you said, I was able to see the end of what I saw in the beginning.
Yes. Ooh, yes, that just touched my heart. I didn't even know I wrote that.
Yes, you wrote it, girl.
Look.
You wrote it.
That touched my heart. So, yeah, of course. So me and my husband had this thing. Faith, hope, and love. That was our scripture. Faith, hope. You got to have faith. You got to have hope. And as long as we got love, because the Bible says that love is the greatest of all, right? Yeah. So we have that love, we have faith in God, and we have hope that our situation and things would change. We chose not to, intentionally not to stay in those bad spaces. Mm-hmm. And so me just, being who I am, who God created me to be, I was able to see the potential in my husband in the early years of talking and dating, and everything that I called forth to him, and, just speaking to him, speaking into his life and in his purpose. Like I said, I was able to witness the full manifestation of everything that I wanted to see and witness in my husband's life. I saw God move in his life. So yeah, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have hope. If he cheated the first time and I just said that it was just over, I just left all of that behind, I wouldn't have saw that. It was my hope that I held on to, hoping that that I would see what God showed me. And I wanted to see that. I wanted to see it, and I did.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That God showed that to you. He revealed that to you. He let you see the manifestation. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the thoughts I think towards you, saith the Lord. Their thoughts are peace and not of evil, to give you a hope and a future, to give you an expected end. That's what God does for us. There are thoughts that he thinks about us, and he thinks those thoughts about us in spite of where we are, right?
Yes.
Like, in spite of where we are today, there are still amazing thoughts that God has toward us about where we're going and where we're going to end up, that expected end, that hope in that future. Isn't it a wonderful thing that we have the opportunity to do that for each other, to have thoughts of peace and hope for each other.
Yes.
And to have in our minds an expected end. And that's what I hear you saying, that there was an expected end.
Yes.
You had for him. God orchestrated it, but you were able to see it, to envision.
Yes. Yes. All of that. Yes. Yes.
Wow. Listen, Bonnie Hill, who's watching right now, she says, book ordered, can't wait to read it. Listen,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
yes, if you guys, if you are on here tonight, I had the absolute pleasure, myself and Pastor Jasmine Dudley, of walking Sierra through to get this book written and published.
Yes.
And we are on this side of it, and it is a beautiful thing. Just an honor to do that. If you're on tonight and you're hearing these little tidbits of what we're talking about, it's just a teaser. You got to get the book, okay? You see the website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. Go there and order your book. Let me tell you, your life. I sat there like, of course, through the publishing process, we have to touch the book a million times. But just recently, I was on my way home Sunday before the book signing. I was on my way home. I was on a plane. I intentionally took the book with me to Minneapolis because I said, you know what? I know we have the book signing, so I want to read it. I want to read it from cover to cover. And so I sat there and did it just from a different space, And I was on the plane like, just like that. Just like that. I know the people around me were like, what's wrong with her? But I was like, man, like I was saying stuff like that out loud. Man, oh my goodness. Because like I said earlier, it just takes you on this journey. And guys, listen, there are how many pages? 73 pages in this book, the story, 73 pages. You get this book, you're not going to put it down until you finish it. And I read the book and I said, you know what I said to myself? As amazed as I was and as excited and overjoyed as I was ready to cry with you. I was ready to rejoice with you, everything in this book. But at the end, I said, man, this is well written, first of all. And then I said, there's more. And you heard that on Sunday
Yes,
signing when
Apostle
Sherman said there's a part 2.
Yes.
I thought about how big this story is and how big your life is and that there is more in it. So I want to ask you this question. What did you leave out of the book that you know that you have to share in your next book?
I finished writing the book in January. I hadn't talked prior to me writing the book. I hadn't talked to my biological father in 6 years. And so I just felt this unction to reach out to my father. And so I did that towards the end of March. I reached out to my father. I asked him if I can have a conversation with him. And he was open to having a conversation with me. I talked to him for about an hour and a half, just expressing to him how I felt, what I thought about our relationship and how he treated me. I was just very transparent and laid everything out. He listened to me. He understood me. He, told me his side. I listened to him. I understood him. I told him that I forgave him. And he said that he desired to have a relationship with me moving forward, and that he was going to be consistent. He was going to be the father that he wanted to be to me, but he didn't know how. And so needless to say that I will probably include that in part 2, because our relationship has been reconciled, restored, and he has been doing just that. He's calling to check on me. He doesn't live, in Georgia where I am, but he calls, we talk, we have a good relationship, and I am very happy about that. He's very happy about that. He said that he felt relieved, and, just to hear how God moved in his life as well during the 5 years or so when we didn't speak. So that would be something that I would include in part 2.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I felt that pain in the book when that relationship, you had engaged, and then there was a disconnect again,
Yeah.
right? There was a disconnect, and man, all of us have experienced that on some level. But to hear reconciliation, that's another theme I think that is recurring in the book, the theme of reconciliation. And to see even after the last page of this book, that God is still working in that area of your life, and that you are actually going to write about it is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
I'm happy about that. I'm very happy
Yes.
about
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Because I know that there is more. I know that there is more. So I want to, I want you to. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna get off screen here in a minute. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to talk to him, because I want. This is what I believe. I believe that all of us have been destined. We've been destined to leave a mark in the earth. I believe that we all are slated for the leaving of legacy. I believe that legacy is the voice that speaks for us when we're gone. I believe one of the greatest ways to leave a legacy in the earth is to write a book, because it speaks for you when you're not here anymore.
Yes.
I always tell people that Miles Monroe is my mentor, one of my mentors. We know Miles Monroe is no longer here, but he has a slew of books and videos and messages that reverberate in the earth, even when he's not here, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I believe that for you, that this is a part of your legacy. You're not going nowhere anytime soon, but you are building legacy.
Yes.
There's always an overarching message that each of us has. So I want you to take the last few minutes, and I want you to share your legacy that you speak through this book. If you had to give a few words that would encourage someone, that is the overarching message of your life, message of this book, I want you to take a few minutes, and I want you to talk to those who are listening tonight, because there's somebody who needed to hear this. There's somebody whose life is going to be forever transformed because they've read this book. You guys, the website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Go get the book. Go get the book. I'm going to let Sierra have the floor, and I want her to share. I want her to share her message.
Okay. So, first off, I want to let you know that you are never alone. You are never alone. And the things that you go through are not just designed to mold you into who you are supposed to be, who you are destined to be, but it is created for you to go through so that you can help somebody else, so that you can go back and you can pull someone else. Someone else can relate to you and what you went through. So don't be selfish in your trials. Don't be selfish in trying to decide what you want to go through and what you don't want to go through, because God is the strength and our source. He is our strength and he is our source. So that means that God will strengthen you for whatever it is that you have to go through, whatever it is that you are going through. God will give you the strength. And that is the message of my book, because I'm telling you, in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, I wouldn't have done any of the things that I did in as far as the relationships, trying to reconcile, forgive, just continuing to love people, even when they treat you wrong, any of that. I wouldn't have been able to do it without God. And just allow God to lead you and to guide you through your trials, through your experiences. Trust him with your pain. A lot of people like to say that he won't put more on you than you can bear. But God's grace is sufficient. That means that God will give you his grace and his strength and his power and his might to be able to push through whatever it is that you are going through, because you're not going to you cannot stay there. You have purpose to fulfill. And so you need to keep walking. You need to keep running. You need that momentum. You need the strength that God is going to give you to push through the storms and to weather your way through every obstacle, everything that is designed to break you down. break you down. God is bigger than that. And I wouldn't be here to tell you that if it wasn't true. I am living proof that God will carry you. God will walk with you. And so if you're a writer, write, write, and don't postpone it. Don't procrastinate. Write, because someone needs what you have. Someone needs what you have. So walk into your purpose, live life with purpose, and know that God is greater than anything that can come your way, and that he'll help you through it. That's it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for sharing that. There are folks that are on that are saying congratulations to you, and that they're going to
Thank
get
you.
a copy of the book, and saying how how blessed they are by this conversation tonight. And I have definitely been blessed by this conversation tonight, and
Thank
appreciate
you.
your taking the time to chat it up with me just for a moment. I am, again, not only did we get the opportunity to publish the book, but recently, as Sierra mentioned, she has gone through and completed Living on Purpose coaching certification program. And so, I mean, weeks apart, she finished writing the book, is going through the publishing process, and then she, is in the certification program, which you can't even, it's not nothing to shake a stick at. It's a serious program.
Woo. Woo. Very, very intensive. Oh God.
And you did an amazing job getting through that. And I just see the hand of God in all of it, orchestrating all of it. One of your peers, Coach Erica, is on saying, "Yay, congratulations!" She knows what that's all about. She was in the class as well. Was that your accountability partner? Was Erica?
Yes, that was my AP.
Okay, I love it. I love it. God, the hand of God was in the midst of all this. Sometimes I see us as like chess pieces, and the hand of God just moving us where we need to be moved, in order to win. Right. And I believe that that's
Yes.
what he's done for you in this season with
Yes.
all of this back to back to back to back, a season of back to back wins. And it has been amazing. And so, I just want to say, on behalf of myself, Pastor Jasmine, Next Level Up Publishing, Living on Purpose coaching certification program, all of that,
All of that.
we are just honored to have been a part and to still be a part of your journey. So I want to ask you this question, and we're going to wrap up. What is next? What is next? What is next? Are there more book signings? I want you to tell the people about your websites or your coaching or whatever. Just lay it on us.
Yeah, what's next is more book signings. I'm going to do like at least 1 or 2 book signings a month. And I told you I graduate next week. And so I will be moving forward and trying to pursue, jobs in my career field as being a social worker. I am so excited about that because I love to work with the youth. And so this is my door, the gateway for me to get into doing what I love and that I'm so passionate about. And coaching, helping people, encouraging people, motivating them. I am just ready to get into all of that. I actually, I'm invited to have a like display and sell my books at the Kabod Encounter. That's in June. And so that's a really huge event. That's a great opportunity for me as well. And I'm just looking forward to that encounter with God, and just allowing him to continue to direct my steps. That's one of my favorite scriptures too. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So I'm trusting him and I'm depending on him to do that. And yeah, that's what's next for me. It's just so much, but that's what's next.
That's good. That's good. We expect to see great things, to hear great things from you, Sierra. We know that it's inevitable with just listening to you and hearing your faith and your strength. I'm gonna say it one more time, y'all. Get this book. I want you
Please.
to, yes, get this book. It's gonna bless your socks off. Follow Sierra on talk about your social media handles, where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook at Chancierra Michelle, and follow or go to visit my website at inspiredbycc.com for updates about books. I am going to write another book very soon. I am being pushed to do that. So I will be writing another book soon, getting into coaching as well, and just being who I am. I don't have an Instagram or any of that just yet. So just follow me on Facebook, Chancierra Michelle.
Yes, but I do think I see an Instagram in your future, an Instagram page, a author page, a coaching page. I think I see all of
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes,
Hint, hint.
yes.
Listen, it has been a pleasure, a complete pleasure talking and chatting with you tonight. And I know we're gonna do other things, and we're gonna see great things out there. We're gonna keep our eyes on you. If you're on tonight and you don't know this young lady, you will, because God, I spoke at her book signing, and I told her that she's getting ready to take flight. And those weren't just words; those were inspired by Holy Spirit. I believe
Yes.
that's exactly what she is getting ready to do and in process of right now. And so our prayers are with you, our support is with you,
Thank
our
you.
love is with you,
Thank you.
and we're just excited. Thank you so much for being on. For those of you that are on, again, get the website, follow Sierra on her page and her pages to come, and just connect with her. And thank you for tuning in tonight. And we'll have other authors that we'll bring on. I love doing this. I love the authors that come through Next Level of Publishing are amazing. And one thing that the Lord has done, and even working with Pastor Jasmine and Pastor Kenyon Dudley, they have really identified, even for me in this area of publishing, that there is an MO for those authors that I work with. And for the most part, they are women who have stories that, I'm gonna just put it this way, women who have stories that the devil don't want them to get out. Can I just say it
Yes.
that way?
Yes.
That there are women who have been through some things, and I can understand and relate to that because of some of the things that I've been through. And so if you are interested in Next Level of Publishing, if you have a story that's burning on the inside of you, I encourage you to go to nlupublishing.com, find out more information about what we're doing. There'll be more boot camps and writing intensive. So keep your ears and eyes open for that. God bless you. You guys have a good evening, and we will see you next time.
All right.